welcome back to the LEC. Fnatic scored the third victory this week, which is not something we've been used to in the past knowing the team, but that's a very good start for the team. Humanoid, thank you so much for joining me. How do you reflect on this Super Week and the scoreline you have?
I mean, I don't think I've ever been 3-0, so I guess that feels good. And yeah, the first two games were a bit like sloppy and we could have lost those, but I think today was fine and yeah, we just closed it out cleanly.
Something I said to every player, actually, it takes time to get used to new teams, new environment. If I remember correctly, you made your debuts with Splice, later on became MAD Lions, so it's actually the first time you have to evolve in a new environment. So how are you adapting to Fnatic and this new setting in the LEC?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really fun for me to finally change like everyone I've been working with for the first time, because it's a new experience. And yeah, I think so far it's going really well, better than I expected, and everyone's getting along super good. And yeah, I'm just excited to play the split with the new team.
Very nice to hear. Tell me more about your role then within Fnatic in terms of communication, who makes the call, what is your role here?
I mean, I think most of the time it's like everyone making calls in the mid game. It's not just one person, but I think. Yeah, I think we just try to everyone kind of chip in. If someone is strong, then he's the one who's shot calling. If someone is weak, then usually he's just like following someone else. So I think that's the system that we have.
Go with the flow. And it's been working so far. So yeah, something you can keep on doing for the upcoming weeks. Last question for you, Humanoid. MAD Lions will play the last game of the week versus G2 Esports. Who takes it and why?
That one will be close. I think MAD Lions looked pretty good in their first two games. Maybe it's because of the Diana I saw, which is, I guess, pretty strong for them. They should have won the second game as well, but they kind of trolled it a bit. And G2 is also looking pretty good. So I think, yeah, I mean, I would say it's a 50-50. But yeah, actually, I will say MAD Lions will win just because it's my old team and I believe in them.
Yay, cheering on the former colleagues. Well, Humanoid, thank you so much for the interview. Congrats on the first Super Week with Fnatic. And for more on the next game, let's send it over to the desk.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to the last match of the LEC Super Week. Goodbye, Laure. It is a classic of modern EU League of Legends, the most successful team in recent years, MAD Lions versus G2 Esports. And what a fitting end to that interview, because when you look at the history of these teams, MAD Lions got the better of G2 when it mattered in 2021. They sent G2 Esports to the lower bracket twice, which caused them to miss the World Championship with what is the supposed 2021 super team.
I mean, honestly, their performance also didn't allow them to go to the World Championship. We can't give it all to the MAD Lions.
Of course not, but it was the MAD Lions that put them in that very difficult position, and G2 could bring it back.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are maybe a bit too already nostalgic of the MAD Lions in 2021, because this was a year where the MAD Lions had a lot of struggles, not only just in summer after their MSI appearance, but also together in spring, where it really took a long time for this team to get ramped up. But at the same time, while MAD finally finding their footing in 2021, it's also the year where we see a downfall of G2. With Perkz leaving, you can definitely see that it was a roster that generally struggled to find this leadership at the same time. So while MAD Lions really were the kind of team that got together, found the rookies, found the winning recipe, G2 lost some of their mojo at the same time.
I actually have to say thank you for reminding everybody of the journey, because in sports, whatever the scoreline is almost the most important thing.
Yeah.
You look at who won the tournament. Very rarely do you remember who finished second or third.
Are you telling me result-based analysis is not the best analysis?
Damn it, that is the right thing to do. But I mean, Trouble, bring us back now to present day. MAD Lions come in with a 1-1 record. G2 are currently 2-0.
I think it was very impressive what they managed to pull out on the first day, right? The double AD solo laners with Elyoya on the Diana. He was very explosive. He would find the openings for the rookie mid lane. I think this is what it was very important. They were setting up Reeker for success. There wasn't much pressure, but also Reeker being okay with picking Yasuo against someone like Perkz, I think takes a lot of practice to go there. And then also giving Unforgiven his Karthus, which he's very known for over in the ERLs. Day one, very explosive. Day two, very predictable. Yasuo Diana yet again, and even though the game dragged on so much and Elyoya set up so many lovely engages again for Reeker, I'm gonna quote Yamato here, and he's like, what's actually hiding behind that Diana door? What else does Elyoya have?
And that's the thing as well, because Reeker in Game 1 looked confident, set up by the veterans. You can see they tried to do it again at the same time in Game 2, but it's kind of playing like training wheels for Reeker when he's set up in these positions, and it is benefiting him. But I want to see him without the training wheels too. I want to see him be put in situations where you're no longer getting the benefit of the ease of executions like you do with these kind of compositions. I want to see you be put in a spot where you have to fight for yourself as well to really show off how good of a mid laner you are. And we were talking about Caps yesterday because he was up against Deo and Deo had to stand his own against Caps.
Yes.
I want to see Reeker now today as the new rookie coming up against Caps, one of the greater mid laners we also have in EU, try to hold his own footing.
Listen, he's already dumpstered Perks. How much harder can Caps be? A little bit more seriously. A little bit more seriously. That was a joke. That was a joke. Do not at me. That was a joke. Kudos to production team. The moment Trouble said day 2, the graphics changed. That was just epic timing. I do want to talk about G2. This is a team that has already gone 2-0. I feel like day 1 and day 2's games here in Europe were a little bit more drawn out, a little bit more complicated to finish. But today has been very decisive. And when we look at some of these games here from G2, what's the first thought on your minds?
I still think so. We were talking to Jankos yesterday as well in the interview, and he was saying, you know what? In terms of draft, we're not 2019 or 2019 G2, but we're still very open-minded with these champions. And I feel that. I feel a team that's free-flowing, who's allowing themselves to have different opinions and try out these opinions. I mean, we have Dylan Falco. Obviously, there's the coaching staff now too. The guy who's like, all right, let's pick Vayne. So I like that the players here on G2 has been giving room to show what they are capable of as players, and I already like the flexibility of what we're seeing in these players.
Yeah, and I like the trust as well, you know, with MAD Lions.
That's a good word.
The coaching staff being able to support and back them up. If I pull out some of the information that I've heard thus far, we want to see drafting from MAD Lions, the types of compositions they're willing to play, maybe who will be leading the charge in the victory. For G2 Esports, are they going to be creative in the way that they play? What is going to happen in the mid lane? Who is going to control Elyoya? Are those some of the key factors you think will determine the victor, or what am I missing in terms of who will win today?
Honestly, I feel like MAD Lions have so many players that can carry a fight. Reeker coming in, he was a very feared mid laner in the ERLs, playing the likes of Silas, the likes of Ryze, blending his own pressure into the map. Elyoya, we've seen him on Diana, he's absolutely stellar. But now you also have Unforgiven, who was a carry himself over in the ERLs. And the only game they lost was when Unforgiven was on Jhin. And I'm going to quote Hansama here on his last game at Worlds. He's like, I wish I didn't play Jhin on that game.
One-word answers, who will win?
G2.
MAD.
G2, MAD, the desk is split. We'll see if G2 can join Fnatic and Rogue at 3-0 as they face off against the reigning champions, MAD Lions, in one huge grudge match.
Thank you very much. Quickshot split on the desk, it seems. MAD Lions and G2 in a battle, hopefully for the ages. I'm looking for
the ages.
For the ages.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. Hopefully for the ages.
Your
you know?
first game back. Your
Third
first
game.
week back. Yeah. You're playing MAD G2, and now it must be a game that lives up to
for
every other MAD G2 game that has ever happened before. No pressure, Reeker. No pressure, Flakked. Let us find out. We will now begin with some epic music.
And after that, we move on into the Champions Select. Of course, lots of history between these two teams. It was MAD Lions who were the first team domestically to beat the 2019 iteration of G2. You know, the Wonder, Jankos, Caps, Perks, and Mickey lineup. It was MAD Lions last year who took the titles away from G2, winning back-to-back in 2021. And now it is MAD Lions reformed with Reeker and Unforgiven coming into the lineup. Try and break G2's 2-game winning spree. It's not really a winning spree, but defeat them for the first time in 2022.
And I don't think the bans are going to be anything too crazy. We see LeBlanc and Twisted Fate removed. Caitlyn also coming off the board with Lee Sin. I'm curious as to whether G2 is going to look to remove the Diana, the thing that the Analyst was talking so avidly about, and something that we've only seen Elyoya on so far in this split. Wouldn't be surprised to see something like a Jhin or a Jarvan ban coming out from the side of the Mad Lions. We know that Jankos does like that Xin Zhao, and he has had a great week on the champion so far. And as we say that, now going to be removed. So, final question. Will the Diana be removed? Yay or nay?
Yay is the answer. Diana taken away from Elyoya. The Diana-Yasuo combination, something that Mad Lions have used in both their games so far, but immediately Kaiser is going to get his Thresh.
Okay, this does give a lot of options. Could be the Aphelios for Unforgiven, could also be the Jinx. We'll have to wait and see. Thresh is, in Europe, just a very versatile, very highly prioritized champion that many teams want to get their hands on. Often it is banned, but it has been left through the table for now. This does mean that when we think about junglers, Jarvan is really the next best that is left up and available that we often see in the meta, with Lee, Diana, and Jhin all removed. Jhin is going to be the first pick here for Flakked, down towards the bot side of the map. A strong 2v2 champion. Nothing too crazy, very much within the meta. Now the question is, will G2 answer with the support of their own, or will they instead try and get Jankos something in the jungle? Will we see him on the Jarvan, or perhaps even the Viego, something that is still very prevalent in the current meta, and something that you could look to prioritize early on in the draft if you want?
Yeah, usually we see AD carries jungles early on here. There's the Viego that you predicted, Vedi. Great job there. Jankos will take it. Of course, Trundle, a known answer into the Viego. We learned that from Zanzara last year. Elyoya may not go towards that Trundle, though. May, in fact, look towards perhaps an AD carry and see where they want to go with their next pick in a moment. Varus, the current hover, he is very strong. Has a lot of poke damage as well. But instead, Unforgiven is going to go towards the Jinx.
I will say that I am a fan of the current AD carry meta. We often get stuck into these limited AD carry champions in the pro scene. It is often like 3 or 4 ADs that you often see.
I'm just going to stop you here for a second, Betty.
What?
Jinx, Jhin, Jinx, Jhin, Jinx, Jhin, Jinx, Jhin, Aphelios.
I really love those 2 AD carries.
Oh yeah, but you can't say we're not getting stuck in a 3 AD carry meta.
That's what I was saying. No, I was saying we are
you were saying
often
you like the 3 AD carries.
Often, yeah, that's
I
what
thought
I'm
you were going to say there's a lot of like different AD carries.
No, that's not what I was saying. I was trying to say that like, that of the 3 that we're locked into, I actually quite like the
You're a
ones
fan
that
of the
we have.
Jays.
Yes, I am a fan of the Jays indeed. Also, Arcane's my favorite show. So, Jarvan going to be locked in for Elyoya, with an Akshan rounded out for, well, could be Caps, could be BrokenBlade. So far, we have seen Akshan mid lane here in the LEC, but we have not seen it top just yet. But for any solo queue fans, they will know that Akshan top can be quite obnoxious. With the Wukong being removed, this suggests that G2 are trying to remove potential answers into an Akshan top, or it could be that they're setting up for an alternative top lane pick.
Could also be Armut plays Wukong a lot. He really likes that champion.
That's also a great point.
Let's just ban the Wukong away from him. Rakan taken away from Targamas as well. Akshan so far only played by G2's former mid laner Perks in the LEC, and he didn't have the best of performances on it on day one. Let's see if either Caps or BrokenBlade can do slightly better than their, well, not BrokenBlade's former teammate, but Caps' former teammate. There's the Malphite banned. A lot of AD already coming on the side of G2. Makes sense to try and get rid of someone that can just stack armor and deal with you.
Yeah, and also just double AD carries, like Malphite. It's just like, yeah, my R button looking real tasty right now. So with the Rakan removed, will Mad Lions remove another support? They could get rid of the Nautilus, which is actually a common answer and a common pairing alongside the Jhin. And I think it's generally a pretty good matchup into the bot lane. But instead, they're going to show respect towards Targamas, which to me suggests that there's no reason not to lock in the Nautilus right now. Ultimately, we'll give you a strong 2v2 matchup in the bot side of the map. We'll offer a lot of crowd control. And we'll also offer, well, just a lot of utility. A well-rounded, very strong champion. And Targamas does love to roam, engage, and just be that utility bot for whatever team he happens to be playing for. Instead, we're going to get Yuumi. Okay, well, a little bit more on the scaling side. We've already seen Yuumi plus Viego earlier in the day. Does scale very well, makes you very tanky. I believe it was in the Dom 1 game when I actually saw it. Apologies.
It was earlier in the day.
It was indeed earlier in the day. But Yuumi in the late game, because she's an enchanter, does offer more than what you'll often see from these engaged supports. Doesn't quite have the same in terms of pick presence, but still a very big threat. And it's something that you have to respect as the game progresses.
I'm a little surprised Victor has gone this far through the draft, because I'm not sure how the Victor into Akshan matchup goes in the mid lane, but with the Ornn being picked in the top lane, it's boring. Yeah. But like Victor can just scale in that situation, right? Instead, it looks like Mad Lions will go to the Corki, possibly? If they go Seraphine, they are very much putting all their eggs into the Jinx basket, but instead, Corki is the pick.
Wow. This Mad Lions draft, very front to back, long range poke, good engage, good team fighting, very traditional, very standard for the current meta. The question is, where is this Akshan going? Is it in the mid lane? Is it in the top lane? I expect it to be top, and I think Caps will come out with an answer to this Corki. The question is, what will it be? Will we see something like a Victor? Will we see something else? Will we see
It's a Kassadin.
Kassadin? Okay. So this is something that Showmaker brought out earlier in the day as an answer to Corki. One of the few champions that can match Corki in terms of scaling. Obviously, Kassadin, a massive late game threat. I can already hear chat starting the countdown timer towards that level 16.
0/16. Get it in there.
Right now, he's only level 0, but when he hits that level 16 mark is where he becomes a terror. And Kassadin Yuumi, whew, that's scary. That is really, really scary in terms of late game threat. So we're going to be having a late game. Unsurprising given the current meta. I will say that Mad Lions composition just a lot easier to execute. Front to back, team fight, very traditional, nothing too crazy about it. G2 have a lot of moving parts. They have no true tank. They have a lot of side lane threats. They have decent lane dominance with their top lane and their bot lane. You know, they said that they aren't going back to their 2019 G2 ways, but this is difficult to execute, very creative, a little bit non-meta. It's very G2-esque.
It definitely is. Mad versus G2 after this. I'm really happy to cast my first game of Akshan. It's one of those champions that I've been looking at for a while, you know, ever since. No, I'm not gonna. Vedi, don't, okay? It's fine. We're just gonna watch the game. One of those champions, you know, you've been looking at since last year. I shouldn't have told you this joke before we came on stage.
Guys, I'm trepidatious because Medic has been preparing to cast Akshan for a while.
Well, we'll see if anything happens at level 1. I don't know, Mad Lions. I'm gonna go for a slightly delayed invade. And Jankos will just back away. Ward goes down. Jankos, no sweeper for him. Actually looks like Flakked took a sweeper in the bottom lane here on the Jhin. So he's going to try and clear out any vision that might be down there. But yeah, Akshan, one of those champions that we've been preparing to cast for a while. And I just wanted to test your knowledge on it, Vedi.
Yeah.
What's his ultimate called?
His ultimate, I have no...
We talked about this yesterday.
It's...
Because you used the word in a cast, and I was like, did you know that was... starts with the come-up-and?
Yeah, I was going to say...
Starts with come-up-and. I went a bit too far there. What's his E?
What's his E? I don't know.
Heroic Swing.
Okay, great. Is he going to use it right now?
He might use it as he pushes in here with Jankos for this invade. Elyoya and Armut, not the best at level 1. Of course, Brittle can do a lot of work. Reeker coming across as well, and Caps is not joining his team at all. This will reset. So, Akshan's W.
I don't know.
Going rogue.
Shroud. Oh, going rogue. Is it really going rogue?
Going rogue. Now, he's going to use his Q here.
Yeah.
You want to know what that's called?
Tell me.
It's Avengerang.
Okay.
What do you call it when the Hulk calls you? Avengerang.
Avengerang?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I've had that one for way too long. Jankos will win the smite fight over Elyoya. Gets the Spectral Maw, and Elyoya might have to flash away. Jankos could look for the flash auto. Elyoya flashes first.
Ooh, hits him with the BM, and
he's just going to walk
through
across
the towers. That is 2 tower shots. Reeker is level 2, not going to collapse, but Jankos is in full control of Elyoya's jungle. And well, as a jungler that's experienced this, it's really horrible, but I love what Jankos is doing just because Jarvan's level 1 is horrendously weak. He is he's reliant on level 2, his cooldowns are very long, and his passive, while it does give bonus damage, it's got such a long cooldown that there's no way you're ever going to beat a Viego at level 1, and Jankos is very aware of this. Even though he has a Kassadin in mid lane, a lane that can't really offer any assistance, he doesn't care, he can test the wolves, he's able to steal away level 2, and he's going to put Elyoya ever so slightly behind. Now you can see Elyoya getting very low in the jungle, still has the smite for health if he needs it though. And ultimately Elyoya's jungle pathing is all kinds of messed up right now.
Jankos giving his lanes time as well. Cap's already 3/16 of the way to the clock spelling doom for Mad Lions. That level 16 Kassadin so deadly to work with. For the moment, he's just going to have to farm underneath his tower. Unforgiven and Kaiser will get the push here in the bottom lane. Difficult to tell as well where Jankos is. You assume he'll be working his way up towards the top side of the map, but he could always look for a gank. You know, he's already got a couple of levels, a few camps under his belt. Instead, he will just go towards that top side jungle.
Interesting. Cap's choosing to start with the Doran's Shield instead of the Corrupting Potion. Often you'll see many Kassadin players will go for just ultimately a lot more health regeneration, especially in difficult matchups. But instead, he's trying to use that Doran's Shield to mitigate it. And of course, it does give you that element of heal as well. You can also see in his rune choice going a little bit more defensively as well. Going with the, do you remember the name of the green rune page? I never remember the names of these things. Resolve tree, yeah. And you can have things like Second Wind, which can also help with regeneration.
One more auto, stolen away by BrokenBlade. Now the jungler doesn't get it. BrokenBlade looking for the chase here. Elyoya, no EQ combo, but Scuttle Crab secured by BrokenBlade. Elyoya was on his way to a double crab there, even after being pushed behind early on, but now he may even lose his blue buff.
He doesn't have smite, Jankos does. I expect him to lose this. The TP gonna come through from the Corki. Armut is here to assist. So his lane is offering... The problem is Armut's wave is in a really awkward spot right now. So Jankos just doing this is just making life harder for Armut in the top lane. We'll put Jankos a little bit behind, given that, you know, he still has camps that he needs to clear. You can see with this wave slow pushing towards BrokenBlade, he now hits that level 5, and Armut is forced to overextend. So he's a little bit behind in the XP department. Reeker, though, setting up a nice freeze in mid. The good news for Elyoya, though, is he didn't lose more camps, and he's actually slightly ahead in terms of XP.
And Kaiser doing a good job there of stopping Flakked back as well. This wave will push towards the Mad Lions bottom lane. Unforgiven can just catch it as it comes in. Maybe even look to enact a short freeze of his own. Overall, advantages in the top lane and the mid lane, ever so slightly for G2. BrokenBlade does have quite a lead, as you'd expect in a melee into range matchup. Elyoya here once again getting invaded, does manage to land the smite, and will secure his Gromp. But Jankos is well and truly just putting his face where it is not wanted, as he continues to harass and harangue Elyoya in his own jungle.
Admittedly, he is falling behind in farm. They're probably pretty close in terms of XP, but the good news for Elyoya is that he now has all of his bot camps respawning. The bot crab is also going to be up and available. With the mid push that they now have and Kaiser roaming, observers, can we quickly have a look at this bot wave? I want to see what is happening down there, if there is a slow push or if it is... Yeah, so we're going to get a slow push coming out from Mad Lions as well. As this new wave hits, Unforgiven is going to be forced to clear that one out. And this means that all with mid and bot in a position to push, Mad can either look for an early Drake, or at the very least they can look for a crab, or they can just look for a straight-up gank.
Now Flakked has flash and heal, and still gets hit with the hook, but doesn't really matter. Didn't need to burn either of his summoners to get out of that. Deadly Flourish will find its mark, but Kaiser, this is just about helping Unforgiven make sure that he can get all of these CS, getting a good position with this wave. And you see, Unforgiven actually developed a slight CS advantage. There's 4 extra minions here, or 2 extra minions. It's going to be about a 10 CS lead for the Mad Lions bottom lane.
You know, Kadril talked about it yesterday, but I gotta give a lot of respect to Unforgiven. His first game, Karthus. His second game, Jhin. In an insanely long game yesterday, his first death was at something like 45 minutes.
Yep, very impressive.
He's been a very consistent performing AD carry for being a rookie here in the LEC. And Mad Lions are famous for scouting out young, promising talent. I feel like this is already an individual that we're keeping our eyes on, given how consistent he has been so far in week 1.
And it's not just about the scouting of the talent, it's about the fostering of the talent. It's something they do so well Just have to look, you know, Kazi, Elyoya, Kaiser, all people that joined Mad Lions as very strong players themselves, but continue to grow as they were part of that
Very
team and
quickly
coaching stuff.
as well.
Yeah.
You think about Elyoya, like rookie of the split in his first split. The
You can't be
trajectory he
rookie of the
had.
split in any other split. I will
That's
just
a great
put that one
point.
out
Very
there.
valid point. But yeah, and like the fact that Kaiser last split was even considered top 3 support when that was largely dominated by Mickey and Hylissang. He just came out of nowhere. In playoffs, he was incredible with so many of his engages on Alistair in particular. It was just at Worlds, they did fall a little short. But you know that those players will be hungry to perform on the international stage once again. Now bring it back to the game. The 8-minute mark is drawing ever closer, which means that the Herald is spawning. Pings are already coming down. You can see Jankos making his way towards that with Targamas quick on his heel. Unforgiven roaming up with Kaiser, putting a bit of pressure down in mid. Reeker wants to get a quick recall off. Let's see if Kaiser can land a hook.
Yeah, he was expecting Caps to try and jump away from that. Jankos does have a cat on his shoulders as they look for this gank in the mid lane. Elyoya here as well, though. Cap's going to get pulled back. Ignite going down, flashes away from the EQ combo. Targamas, though, yeah, you got nowhere to go. That cat's been put down as Mad Lions get first blood.
Nice stuff there from Mad. Elyoya's target focused a little off. He wanted to try and commit onto Caps, whereas he did get his flash out, though. It's still ultimately worth as they secured themselves a kill regardless. Mad first one on the board, and now they can set themselves up nicely for the early Rift Herald.
Yeah, as you said, they moved Unforgiven and Kaiser up towards this. You saw that rotation happening from Mad Lions. Jankos will be able to get a Cloud Drake for himself in response, or for the entire team, but it's really not as consequential as that early Rift Herald. With that, of course, with 5 minutes before the plates come back up, you're looking at breaking a tower, or at least getting, you know, 300, 400 gold out of it.
So let's have a look back at this play. From G2's perspective, Kaiser and Unforgiven are slightly overextended here. They think they can go for a play, but Elyoya is in a position to answer it. He's level 6. Remember, all that early ganking from Jankos didn't actually result in that big of an XP gap. Caps forced to flash. Targamas gets caught on the traps, which means that puts a cooldown on his ability to sit on top of one of his allies, which means that he is easy pickings for the ultimate from Elyoya. So overall, even after the early aggression that we saw from G2 with Jankos trying to shut down Elyoya, it didn't really result in a huge amount. Elyoya gets himself first blood, and Mad Lions find themselves with just short of a 1k gold lead.
In a really good position so far, and Ornn in the top lane has been able to negate a lot of the pressure that this Akshan could put down. BrokenBlade's actually only played carries so far for G2. Corki, Graves, and now the Akshan has actually got 40% of his team's total damage from the top lane.
Shake my head.
Yeah, I think BrokenBlade is looking at a role swap next year. We always see mid laners on G2 go to AD carry. Now it's time for the top laners to start moving down there. Khan's going to come back, play top lane for G2, and we'll see BrokenBlade.
Back in my day, top lane was Maokai, Cho'Gath.
Yep.
Good, tanky,
Sion.
bruiser top lanes.
That was
Now,
before the Sion days.
look at all these carries.
I mean, I know Ornn is a pretty high damage dealer, but I wouldn't call him a carry.
Hey,
you know?
Clearly, you've never played Ornn before.
That's true. That is true.
This man is going, he's like one wave down against Akshan. Okay, you know what I mean? He's basically an AD carry himself. Yep. That is Ornn, the super unit. He was so omnipresent in the league.
He's a chunk.
Trailer. You know what I mean?
It's true.
His sheer presence was.
People forget about the trailer buff. Pantheon is going to make a comeback this season. He's in the trailer, guys.
It's true.
It's gonna happen.
It's very, very true.
It's feeling the call.
Jankos sweating. Sejuani at his heels.
Mad Lions doing a pretty typical play here, moving their AD carry and their support up towards the top side with Rift Herald. You could look to put it down, but I think they know that G2 are in the area, so they decide against using the Rift Herald top. Instead now, make G2 answer, bring your AD carry down towards the mid lane. Corki can already push up that wave, and you could look at putting the Rift Herald down here. But actually, looks like they might take Elyoya all the way down to the bottom side of the map and get the gold on that tower instead.
Yeah, I'm surprised they wouldn't use it here in mid.
Yeah.
I feel like that this is a prime and easy tower for them to take, but I guess they don't have full information on exactly where the rest of G2 are right now. Instead, they're hovering over bot side of the map. This is where they have all their control, sweeping out the vision. They're looking for someone to show up. Remember that BrokenBlade...
He's got no flash.
Oh,
Caps with a smart control ward.
Going to be spotted out there. But they have the numbers, and they're likely going to get themselves the plates. Elyoya trying not to reset that crop will be able to secure it, and is likely going to drop the Herald right here and now.
So what are G2 doing to answer? Well, they've got 3 plates in the top lane. Armut just chases straight onto Caps there. Ignites from the spell book. Jankos looking for something in the mid lane, but Unforgiven and Kaiser are able to answer. So, Flakked, 3 plates so far to the 5 in the bottom lane and the 3 in the mid lane from MAD Lions. This will be a net gold gain of quite a fair sum. 4 plates to 8 in total.
Jankos looking for a bit of a trade onto Elyoya. Forced to flash, doesn't have the EQ combo. I can only imagine, given that he likely used it. And,
look at where Reeker is.
Well, this is a 2v4 situation right now. Oh, but Armut's here to protect.
Armut's going to jump in. There's the final chapter. Jankos trying to get burst down, but they just destroy Reeker where he stands. Armut, you could have backed, mate, but you sacrificed yourself for your teammate, and you're both dead.
Yes, they are. Good kills picked up by G2 off the back of that. Just catching 2 MAD members slightly out of position with no real means to escape. And Elyoya forced to flash earlier on in the river meant that he couldn't really offer any assistance either. A small price to play for MAD Lions for the gold lead that they currently sit on. And the thing that I wanted to note, Medic, was because it was Jhin pushing in the side lane as well, he's just one of the slower AD carries when it comes to sieging, so they weren't actually able to successfully cross-map. You compare that to Jinx on your screen right now, who's just melting down these towers. Another 3 plates going into Unforgiven's back pocket. Can we have a quick look at the gold observers as the TB comes into the bot lane? That is a 1k gold lead between the 2 AD carries, and that is just because of all the plates that Unforgiven has been picking up for himself. You can see an advantage in the jungle for Elyoya as well, and in the mid lane, largely due to the entire tower that Reeker was able to pick up in the bot lane. So, MAD, this is the advantage of that early Herald, right? Your ability to invest in those plates. The small positioning disadvantages, or the small positioning mistakes, rather, that G2 have made in this early game, allowing MAD to pick up all these plates across the board. So good stuff from MAD in this early game. Great control outside of those 2 early kills. It's been a pretty flawless performance. G2, of course, still ramping up with the double AD carries and with the Kassadin. They will definitely have a little bit more of the late game threat. You can see Kassadin level 10 right now, on his way to level 16. Still quite a ways to go, stacking up that tier. But over time, for the time being, G2 not in the worst of positions.
Yeah, they're not in an awful position at all. You know, you've got Kraken Slayer on BrokenBlade. He's should start being able to work his way through Armut in these fights. Crown for Caps as well. It's a difficult Crown game because, of course, the missiles from Reeker will proc that, and it puts it on a 40-second cooldown, but it makes sense if you're going to be the one initiating into the enemy backline.
We'll also say the Frozen Heart pickup, an item we don't commonly see, but very good into auto attackers, and of course into AD carries. Elyoya.
Call to the fort. God, Reeker baited and outsmarted, and they look for the engage, but Flakked able to get away with his flash. BrokenBlade will be the first to fall. Super Mega Death Rocket does not find its mark. Caps down towards the bottom side of the fight, decides against joining.
Such a difficult team to avoid the engage from, because you saw from G2 how they're in a decent position, but Jarvan's engage, we've talked about this before, the Jarvan effect, EQ ult. It can be really difficult for the rest of your team to follow up, not for an Ornn. So you EQ ult, even if they flash away, they now don't have that flash for the Ornn ultimate, making it very easy for the Corki damage to follow up and find themselves some kills. So let's have a look back and see exactly how this one plays out. G2, with the numbers advantage in mid, they know that Jinx is in the top lane, but BrokenBlade ever so slightly oversteps. The 3-man ultimate comes through, the double flash into double knockup, and then Flakked. Good use of the Gale Force there to just sidestep the knockup from Armut. But it means that BrokenBlade will end up losing his life, and a Rift Herald will be secured by MAD.
And 2,000 gold lead all round for MAD Lions. With the Hex Tech Rift, Hex Tech Drakes for us as well. Expect to see a little bit more action fought around that bottom side of the map. But we are getting up towards some pretty powerful points here for MAD. You've got 2 items on Unforgiven, Phantom Dancer and Kraken Slayer complete.
Which is crazy at 16 minutes into the game.
I mean, he's been funneled so many plates.
Oh, he has.
So many plates, so much free gold, or so much individual gold for the MAD Lions AD carry.
You'll also notice that Reeker is going for the AP build. A very heavy scaling build, takes a long time to ramp up. Unforgiven will take a little bit of poke as they secure another tower in the mid lane. 3 towers. I thought that was the 4th one for some reason.
Maths is difficult, Ben.
Yeah, 3 towers now done and secured for the MAD Lions. And we talked about how this composition from G2 is not an easy one to execute, right? You had a winning top and you had, well, I guess, a pretty even bot, but we did see Flakked with small advantages towards the bot side of the map, but still, Targamas was roaming so much, there were no easy lanes to play around, right? Jankos tried a lot to invade onto Elyoya, but he didn't actually steal that many camps away. Outside of the level 1, he wasn't really able to deny Elyoya a huge amount. And as a result of that, G2 never really had much foothold in the early game, and these teamfights are going to be very difficult for them to execute just because of what they're playing against in terms of MAD. I think a lot of it's going to come down to Caps' scaling and how well he can navigate the teamfights. Can he actually get onto the backline alongside Yuumi? Can this Viego get some resets going? It's going to be difficult moving forward for G2. The side lane is really where they have so many advantages.
Where are you going, Caps? Got the flash, has to get away. There's Cataclysm to follow up, but Rift Walk is an ability, and Caps uses it twice to get out of there. The chase is on still with the Lantern. Caps trying to jump away. Manages to escape. Call of the Forge God coming down as well, and Caps doesn't survive. Unforgiven, who opens up 2 quick kills. Over to the MAD Lions AD carry.
And again, MAD find themselves another pick. BrokenBlade is trying to answer on the other side of the map, but with the Rift Herald coming down, this should be another tower going in the favor of MAD. And who better than Unforgiven to take those kills? He's proven to be a big carry for the MAD Lions already in week 1. Now he finds himself in a 1v1 against Jankos, but he has the level advantage, Medic.
Unforgiven's just a monster from a relative unknown in the Prime League on SK Prime. Like, this guy, it's not like he was winning EU Masters. It's not like he was even winning his own ERL. Finished 5th and 6th in the Winter Cup for Prime League last year. MAD Lions have done a great job scouting him. And now he is popping off on the biggest stage in Europe. Caps here spotted on a ward, means MAD Lions can collapse.
And MAD just had the push in mid. G2 thought that they could look for a pick on the bot side of the map, but they're just at a numbers disadvantage. It's very easy for MAD to create this collapse. You think as Kassadin that you're safe, you can make these escapes, but the long-range engages are just so difficult to deal with. Oh, and then Targamas gets knocked up, so he can't use the W to jump onto Jankos, which means he can then get chased down.
I actually think she was in the animation of going into Jankos.
Oh, my word.
I think you see the start of the animation, she got knocked up, so unfortunate, of course, for Targamas. Second time we've seen him caught out away from his teammate.
Prior to this game, Targamas had not died yet in the LEC, so his record already blemished. Now,
it's one of those, it's a cool stat, but we're in game 3.
Yeah.
You know, like, if we were in week 3, it would be a bit cooler for him, but as you say, this is why you shouldn't play Yuumi. Ruins.
This is why,
stats.
This specific reason, because it ruins your KDA.
Yeah. MAD Lions, though, a very strong start to this game. 20 minutes in, 5,000 gold in the lead. They'll get their first Hextech Drake, their second dragon of the game. And G2 very much on the back foot, very much rocked on their heels by this MAD Lions lineup.
And I think the cool thing about MAD is, like, the question was, do they have anything outside of that Diana-Yasuo combo? I think that they've simplified it even further, right? Like, how straightforward is this composition? If you saw this in solo queue, anyone could execute it, right? Front to back, easy engage, long-range poke, good scaling. You just have to make sure that you don't concede too much in the early game. And when you're playing against the Kassadin, it's difficult to shut this type of composition down in the early game, as we see another pick in top lane.
And BrokenBlade's just all as lonesome. Flash comes out, exhaust use as well. TP is now coming out from Caps as he was able to get back. That loop flourish is going to land. There's a curtain call as well, and Armut will be sacrificed. And Elyoya, will he escape? Oh, Hextech gates exist. Caps, you're going to follow him. You're going to go through the gate. Decides to do it. He's on the chase here as Elyoya will get away. That's the longest Rift Walk I've ever seen, Betty.
Certainly is. Caps is looking for it. He knows that Jarvan's nearby. Okay, you've overstayed
Dive him, Caps.
now, Caps.
Dive him, Caps.
There's no way he kills him. He's just being annoying. He's just,
yeah, but I mean, being annoying is always a bonus.
But good response there from G2 to punish the attack on the bot lane. I said top lane, that's because I saw top laners. But BrokenBlade was able to live thanks to a good flash, and then the ultimate from Flakked was enough to be able to turn the kill around with a good TP from Caps. So they closed the kill gap a little bit. They will get a tower back. No, as far as I can tell, no objective bounties just yet. But MAD, they have their eyes on this Baron. Are they going to force it? Yes, they are. A MAD Lions classic. Last split, this is something they would do a lot. We know we're stronger, then let's just force a Baron. Let's force a fight. We know that G2 don't want to fight right now, especially in the full 5v5. No Ornn ultimate just yet, but it seems that G2 don't have any idea.
Double AD carriage is going to melt through this. Gone in a matter of moments. Armut steps up and Caps and G2 realize they were caught unawares. They were caught napping. as MAD Lions secure the Baron at the 22-minute mark. Still got that 5,000 gold lead as well, Betty.
This is a common thing you'll see top LPL teams do all the time, which is we play around our power spikes, we know that we're strong enough, we either secure the Baron or we get a fight. Both of those things we want, so let's make it happen. And it's great to see teams like the MAD Lions, they were even emulating it last split in the regular season, and to see them maintain that form even with new players. I imagine that's Elyoya just saying, oh, Corki has 2 items, Jinx has 3 items, let's just do Baron. What are they going to do?
And G2 could do nothing. No answer to it as of yet. MAD Lions now can look to slowly suffocate this game out. You can see BrokenBlade on the split push does have the TP, so could join if a fight began, but I feel G2 is still waiting about 3 levels time for Caps to hit that level 16 and really start popping off. He does have 2 items. The Seraphs already upgraded, the Crown of the Shattered Queen as well. He is strong. Like, Kassadin will always be strong if you farm well and get to this point of the game, but can he actually ever get in? Because Reeker can just poke him down. MAD Lions can just push forward. BrokenBlade is going for the split. Down towards the bottom lane as the engage comes out. There's the Call of the Forge God of the Cataclysm. BrokenBlade's going to TP in, but Elyoya is already down. So is Jankos. Both junglers dead. Flakked going in. Unforgiven, surviving off the backline. There's the curtain call, and here comes Caps. He's got a cat on his shoulder, and he's got a penchant for killing. Jumps across the wall once again. Flakked and BrokenBlade not near their support and their mid laner anymore. G2 just going to allow MAD Lions to back away.
I like the fact that MAD just used their front line to tank up the damage, but I think their target focus was a little bit off in this siege. The poke is very strong here. You can see Flakked and Jankos, along with Caps, getting chipped out. They want to try and commit, but then here, look, the ultimate comes down onto Jankos. Then the second Ornn ultimate actually misses. This means that with good positioning from Flakked, he's actually able to burst down Elyoya. He ends up losing his life, and now they're on the retreat. And this is where G2 can really utilize their range and their mobility to chase down these MAD members. Armut, though, doing a good job of soaking up a lot of the damage. 4 members are able to escape, and they are not able to secure themselves the inhibitor. Good from both sides, but ultimately it is G2 that ends up coming up short.
And stops the MAD Lions push at least. The inhibitor did not go down. 20 seconds left on the Baron. Expectations are not going to be able to do anything more with that. It would take more than that time to get towards any objectives to take. However, the next Hextech Drake is up in about 20 seconds time itself, so MAD will just use this time to get lane priority, push out mid, push out top, push out bot, gain control of this bottom side jungle, and then you can start to put down some extra vision. Caps caught with a zap, but should just be able to rift walk away. Interestingly, Unforgiven, a higher level than Caps at the moment, Vedi. He obviously was funneled a lot of experience in the early game, but it's rare that that continues through the rest of the game as Kaiser goes in, straight into a 1v3, forced away. There's the Call of the Forge God coming out, though Caps can jump across the Cataclysm. Holy... Whoa, that was a lot of damage. Like, the game at the moment is just pure burst. The MAD Lions show Flakked and Targamas the way back to the fountain as they burst them down. MAD now don't even need the Baron to open up on this inhibitor tower. They'll take it. Probably look for the inhib as well afterwards. Maybe even go towards top side as they can get a double inhib out of this, and then even gate their way back towards the Hextech Drake. It actually looks like Reeker is a bit split from the team. G2 in a 3v4 do not want to take the fight. The inhibitor falls. MAD Lions will back away. Holy, what is this damage,
that's
man?
The AP damage, man. His auto attacks are weaker, but his abilities are strong.
They use the gates, but Reeker flashes away from them. Elyoya going back in with the EQ combo. BrokenBlade just able to survive. The Akshan ult coming out, but he is sniped by a super mega death rocket. MAD Lions find 2 quick kills once again, and now it's only Jankos, Targamas, and Flakked left to defend, but you have to feel this is the end, my friend. MAD Lions looking to go 2-1 on the week, take down the undefeated G2, and they really put them in their place. Yesterday, it was a back and forth affair between MAD and SK. Today, MAD in 27 minutes will take down G2, and they continue to be a thorn in G2's side. The Nexus towers will fall. The final chapter will be exactly that. For Targamas, he's knocked up, and he's down. Say goodbye, G2. MAD Lions have come to play.
The reigning LEC champions finish 2-1. They were close to getting the 3-0. They fell short to a Raptor camp yesterday. What a clean performance. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of question marks around this draft from G2. It felt like that they had no real agency in the early game, they had no options in the late game, and they were limited in terms of what plays they could actually make. But Mad Lions took every opportunity to punish them. Beautiful team fighting, beautiful early game, and overall a beautiful game from the Mad Lions.
I think their week 1 performance has really solidified Reeker and Unforgiven as rookies to watch throughout the rest of the season.
Man.
Unforgiven especially. I mean, he was funneled a lot of gold.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where we've seen young players funneled resources and then not deliver, right? But 7-0-3 was his final score, and he was put on the pedestal to be the carry this game, and he certainly delivered. He's definitely impressed me this week.
He really has, and he is one of your key player of the game nominees at LEC on Twitter. Elyoya and Kaiser join him. And I think that, you know, any of those guys could be an option if you are going to decide on one. Obviously, there's a support there. So
Okay.
I think Unforgiven is probably the option, let's be honest.
But, I mean, huge props to Mad Lions. Obviously, there were a lot of question marks after losing Humanoid, considered the best mid in the league last split, and then losing Kazi as well. Like, very core members of this team, but with 2 new players coming in, they seem to be fitting in flawlessly. And I think a lot of that is thanks to the backbone of Elyoya and Kaiser still doing what they were so good at last split. So Mad Lions, still very exciting to see that they're a team worthy of contending for the top.
And very exciting to see how the rest of the LEC will shape up. But we'll soon be joined by Comp for PGL. First, though, here's Laure with Kaiser.
Thank you, Medic and Kaiser. Thank you so much for joining me after this game. Great week for you and for the Mad Lions in general. Before we talk about your week, I want to talk about Akshan because it's the first Akshan we've seen in the LEC. Do you think we'll see the champion again? And what's your take on how strong it is?
So we didn't play much against it, but our read was that it's really, really strong in laning phase, and you can release like snowball hard with like taking Rift Herald maybe, or taking a lot of tower plates, right? It's a ranged top player, so usually it has pressure on the map, and it can like roam with his invisibility. But the thing with Akshan is it's really hard to play later in the game because a lot of stuff outranges you. For example, this game we had like Jinx, Ornn, Jarvan, we had so much engage. I feel like he couldn't really play the game once it got to mid game. So yeah, I think if you are really confident in being able to snowball the game, then Akshan is a good pick for you. But I think most teams tend towards scaling right now.
Very nice insights about the game, as always, Kaiser. Now about the Mad Lions, 2-1. I want to say it's a very good start, given the fact that you replaced 2 of your main carries during the off-season. Are you satisfied with the Mad Lions so far? And did you expect to have such good results so quickly?
I mean, I'm definitely satisfied. I think I didn't really expect us to come out the gate swinging, because I feel like in our old iterations, we always had like really big troubles in the regular season, right? And just coming into the Super Week 2-1, playing also against like really good teams like Vitality, SK, and G2, I feel like it gives us a lot of confidence, because I mean, scrims weren't really going that well, right? But of course, officials are what's important, and yeah, I think we showed really great resilience, and props to the 2 new guys who also like put on a show, even though like they never played on stage before, right? So or like in LEC before, right? So yeah, it's really nice.
And usually scrims not going well is a good sign for official games, I want to say. You mentioned the rookies, of course. Reeker has been amazing, Unforgiven as well. How has it been working with him, and how do you have to adapt to this new carry style compared to Karzi and what you were used to doing with him?
So speaking of like out of game, I think both are really great people. Like they both are like really chill, and they really fit in our team culture already. Like we are having a lot of fun. So yeah, that's really nice to see. And like in game, I think Will, Unforgiven, sorry, he was like more of a strong side player before, and before coming into Mad Lions, and it was a bit new for him, like to adapt to like a weak side kind of playstyle, because I like to roam a lot and I like to impact the map early game, right? And that's why maybe he had a bit of trouble in the early parts, but I think we worked on that a lot in scrims, and we worked on playing also like strong side, as you could see today. Like he developed a lot over like these couple like 2 or 3 weeks, right? And I think we have a lot of potential coming into the like later parts of the season.
Oh, he's in very good hands with you guiding him, no doubt, Kaiser. Well, for now, that's all for the interview. Dankeschön for this interview. Good luck on this week for the Mad Lions. Lions. We will see you in week 2. And you don't go anywhere because we will be back for PGL with Greece taking over as we will be joined with Comp. See you soon.